Hi, I'm Monsterface. And I'm Danny Nightmare. And we are horror addicts. And tonight... Alright. Fuck the fangs. Tonight is the full moon, so we got something special for you. That's right. 1993's Bloodstone. Subspecies 2. Ted Nicolau returns as writer and director to continue the Subspecies series. It picks up right where the first one left off. Stefan and Michelle thwarted and beheaded Radu. However, in this movie, they have laid down to rest, and the little subspecies help put a not-so-dead Radu back together again. It kind of reminds me of that scene from Monster Squad where the werewolf pulls himself back together. And it looks pretty good, other than the subspecies themselves. They look like shit. Don't get me wrong, I like the subspecies. I think they're cool little creatures. If there was only a way to make them look better on screen, I think I would really enjoy them. In fact, I tried to even make my own subspecies by cutting my finger off. However, nothing kind of happened, so about an hour later I just decided to sew it back on. It was pretty funny though. You totally cried. No, I didn't. He totally did.
It's alright to cry. Crying takes the fat out of you.
However, this is the only part of the movie you're gonna see them. Yeah, they kinda got canned, and even though I like them, it's probably for the best. They should really focus more on Radu. Hell, kill off Stefan. Oh, that's the first thing on Radu's checklist. Kind of undoes almost everything the first movie built up to. Oh well, fuck it. Radu's way cooler. And he's about to penetrate Michelle too, but he gets cock-blocked by the sun. Michelle is spared, and she's gonna continue being our leading lady for this film as well. However, now she's a vampire. And I noticed there's something else a little different about her. She's no longer played by Laura Mae Tate. The role was passed on to Denise Duff, who I kind of think might have done a better job. She's even directed a couple vampire movies herself, such as Song of the Vampire, or Vampire Resurrection, whatever. Michelle's awake and undead, while Stefan is just dead. But she grabs this bloodstone and hightails it out of there before Radu can come back to finish the job. Not knowing how to handle herself as a vampire, especially without Stefan there to guide her, she kind of freaks out. She's getting very hungry for blood. Radu comes to, and he runs home to Mummy. No, literally, you finally get to see his mom, and her name's Mummy, and that's what he calls her.
Mommy.
Ha, what a baby. Meanwhile, Michelle is found by some housekeepers in a motel bathtub. That's a bit of a overreaction, don't you think? Yeah, there's nothing to really imply that she's dead. I'd assume she was just hung over or some shit. She hightails it out of there, but the police end up getting the bloodstone. Little fun fact, the actor playing that policeman, his name is really Radu. Even though he's only got a small part credited as the policeman in this movie and in part 3, it's just kind of funny that there's an actual actor with a real name, Radu. She makes a phone call to her sister, who apparently has time to drop everything and fly out to Romania to find her. I love how this movie does take place in Romania once again. Yes, I really love the old 90s full moon movies where they would fly out to the locations and film them with castles and great scenery. Yeah, it sure beats the green screens and cheap sets that they mostly use nowadays. It's not just nostalgia, just things were better in the 90s. Michelle's sister, Rebecca, played by Mulaney Shatner. Any relation to William Shatner? Yeah, it's his daughter. She had a couple cameos in Star Trek 4 and 5 as well. Is it just me or does the whole fucking family talk like that?
Rebecca. Morgan. Here. Who are you?
Rebecca meets with the police, and they give her the bloodstone. She meets up with Mel, who's gonna help her solve the case of her missing sister. He's played by Kevin Spirtus. You might remember him from Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Him and Rebecca start to hit it off, but this isn't just their romantic story. This is also kind of a love story between Radu and Michelle.
I hunger for love.
Granted, Michelle isn't into Radu, and honestly, I don't remember him being into her. Yeah, he was going to defile her and murder her in front of Stefan in the last movie, but now that Stefan's gone, and I guess since he mixed his blood with hers, he's now infatuated with her, kind of wanting to make her his little love toy.
I will have her for my plaything.
Heh, jinky. Becky and Mel visit a man who might know something about this bloodstone. His name's Popeskew or Papaskew? I don't know. He's basically their Giles. Yeah, you know, he's got all the books and can tell them all the stuff. What movie doesn't have one of those? Well, nowadays they have like fake Google searches. Yeah, I guess I prefer it to that. Now, is that page with the bloodstone drawing supposed to be a page in the book, or did someone take a drawing and just slip it in there to maybe save their space? I hope it's not supposed to be a part of the book, because it's clearly a hand drawing on a white, fresh piece of paper, while the rest of the book is old and weathered. When they're done there, they go visit Radu's castle and quickly exit.
Leave my house at once.
Yes, sir. We're very sorry.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I felt the maids early overreacted, but I feel like they kind of underreacted. Sure, they hightailed it out of there, but they still should have been like, dude, that's a fucking vampire. Either way, he shadow stalks them back to where they're going. And when Becky gets dropped off by Mel, not only is she being watched by Radu, but she's also being watched by her sister Michelle. They make some eye contact, Michelle tries to run, and then they have a car chase around the city. Well, minus the cars. Finally, she corners her sister, gives her the bloodstone, and then Michelle kind of just leaves her there to be killed by Radu? Yeah, he totally could have taken Becky out, but lucky for them, he chooses not to. Michelle gets to drink from the bloodstone, curing her thirst, at least for now. But then Radu takes it back, and he decides to spare her because he knows without it, she's gonna eventually come looking for him. Yes, he then gives it back to his mummy. I like this movie, but it seems like the first half has been nothing but a big giant game of hot potato with the bloodstone. It's got some great gore, and Denise Duff does supply some shower scene nudity. For the most part, the writing's fine, the acting's well done, and the characters aren't bad. So I'm gonna have to say, you should see it. Even though there's some cheesy effects that weren't great then, and they certainly aren't great now, it does mostly rely on practical effects, which are pretty kick-ass. Without the bloodstone, Michelle's hunger drives her to insanity, and she goes to a punk show to pick up a bite to eat. So far in this movie, she's killed as many people as Radu. Who's really the evil one here? Killing someone kind of makes Michelle a little catatonic. She begs her sister to come help her. However, she's shadow stolen by Radu. Rebecca now completely believes in all the vampire hoo-ha, and she knows she's gonna need backup if she ever wants to save her sister. So she tries to recruit Popescu, whatever, the old dude, which is good because not only does he have knowledge, but he's got some cool-ass weaponry. Yeah, they plan to LARP their way into Radu's castle and kick some ass. Except for Mel, he just completely bails on him. What a dick. Yeah, you thought he was gonna be like the hero or something, but I guess not.
There you go. I'm going home. Dick, later.
Taking a page out of Van Helsing's playbook, Popescu is about to stake Radu in his sleep. But unfortunately for him, Mummy shish kebabs his ass, trapping Rebecca into their filthy clutches. Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of the way Michelle was about to be defiled in the first movie. Speaking of Michelle, she wakes up in time to see what they're about to do. They try to coax her into joining them in the feast. And even though Michelle seems tempted, she's not down to eat her sister, and she won't let them do it either. She ends up shanking the shit out of Radu and catches Mummy on fire. You know, maybe Radu's mom's pretty hot after all. Well, as the kids say these days, she's definitely lit. With all the chaos going on, Michelle rushes Rebecca out of the castle, but can't follow her because that damn sun. Yep, shit can give you cancer. Rebecca says she's gonna come back at night, which is pretty stupid. She should just get the hell out of there and tell Michelle where she can find her at nighttime. Doesn't really matter either way because the mummy has her revenge. Yeah, it turns out she's not really dead, giving us a body count of, what, 3? I guess you might assume that Radu is dead, but I'm not gonna count it because of what we saw in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, if decapitation didn't work, I don't think stabbing him a few times is gonna get the job done. Plus, as we said earlier, spoiler alert, there's a third movie. Radu's not dead. This movie was actually filmed back-to-back with Part 3. It is a good thing they filmed a sequel, because otherwise that is a very abrupt ending. Good thing there's plenty of full moons in our future. I'm sure we'll get around to reviewing that one too. Speaking of future full moons, I have something I need to reveal to you for next month. And what's that? You see, I'm not only a vampire, I'm actually a clownpire. Oh, fuck me. Thanks for watching. Cut.